From Fiesta to the Alamo to Whataburger to the Spurs, I miss San Antonio. That's all I gotta say right now for my intro because I'm talking about a band that is from San Antonio, my hometown. And I always want to put my hometown on the map because San Antonio is pretty dope. Hey, what's up, everyone? It's your boy Matt Diazbo coming at you with a new music review. Thank you for coming on by. Really appreciate it. Today, I am checking out a band called Joust with their latest EP called Born Into This World. And if you kept up with my channel, you probably already know that I've covered this band before, but just in case if you don't know, Joust is a San Antonio hardcore band that's been around. Off the top of my head, I'm really not too sure when they've been, like how long they've been a band, but I want to go at least maybe 3-4 years, something like that. But yeah, they come from my hometown of San Antonio. They play some straightforward DIY style hardcore music. And in the current landscape of hardcore music in San Antonio and in general, I think these guys are doing a really good job of filling that void of being something of the new breed, the new generation of hardcore. And especially in the San Antonio scene, I saw them a couple years ago, I think at a place that is not there anymore, but a great place for music at the time, Snake Hill. It was them and a bunch of other bands, but I remember watching this one band and it was Joust, and I was like, man, they have a really good live presence to them. The people are pitting to them really hard. They had a really good fan reaction. I was like, this band, they got something to them, and I think they are doing a really good job of, you know, showing San Antonio hardcore to the scenes all around the states, and hopefully, they get some more recognition, and San Antonio hardcore can be put more on the map because of them. And with this latest EP, Joust is returning to the scene with a very blistering 5-track EP that's shown a lot of growth in terms of sound, production, and overall presence with their music. While the band is rooted in hardcore music style roots, the EP kind of leans into some other styles here, quite confidently into thrash metal, metallic hardcore, and even some groove-based moments that inject a lot of chaos to the music here. There's definitely a noticeable sharpening of their weapons compared to when I first discovered them, first reviewed their EP, their demo from like a year ago. Everything on here, vocally, instrumentally, and sonically, they're making things seem more cohesive and just pushing their sound to be more refined. One of the most immediate standout things that I noticed about this EP and the band itself is the vocal delivery here. They have really, in terms, just gotten a lot better. On the song Hollow Shell, the vocals really cut through with a newfound of grittiness, toughness, and just an overall weathered feel to it that feels like, it has a lot of conviction to their vocals and their delivery here. The best way I can summarize his vocals is that, he's like been through it. He's been in the trenches. He's seen some stuff. He's had stuff affect his life to where it affected him physically, and his vocal presence is tougher, harder, and just more serious. And it kind of reminds me like a little bit like Judiciary in terms of like a toughness to the vocal style, and it's just overall giving the band a more legitimacy when it comes to being hard and just being tougher, even though it doesn't matter being tough or not, but it does help with this kind of style of music to be tough and hard, I think. And he does a really good job of showing this new vocal style that he has. So I want to play a clip of Hollow Shell so you get a sense of that conviction and toughness he has with his vocals.
Disconnected from reality, just a hollow shell. Oh, what a life is meant to be. They always told me.
I feel that man's pain. The same vocal sharpness carries over into the song Run Out here, which, he kind of leans more into a Riley Gale style of power trip style. It's a bit more in a distorted thrashy sense, and it's just bringing a lot of good energy to the song. And I like that the vocals don't really just sit in the mix because they are very powerful and they're just leading the charge on this EP. And the bass is playing a very massive role on this EP. It's not really being sidelined. It has, a good presence on this EP, especially on the tracks Run Out and Free Me. They really shine here. because on both tracks, the low end of the bass feels very dirty, deep, and just tuned perfectly to fill up the space between the chaos that you're listening to this band. So I want to play a clip of Free Me so you get a sense of just the density and the weight the bass is playing here. They letting that bass breathe a lot here, especially on the track Free Me, because the start of the song has a really good bass intro here that just really sets the tone of the song really well. And then you kind of dive into some really chugging metallic riffs that just show the band is able to, hit really hard and slow at the same time, depending on when the mood needs it. And they're able to shift between these types of styles very easily. And speaking of the song Free Me, I think it's probably the most versatile track on this project because it shifts gears between, sounding very sludgy to almost like heavy blast beats with a lot of confidence. So it feels like the most powerful track on this album. When it comes to the drumming, I feel like they are pushed up really high in the mix on this EP, creating some very immediate and visceral impacts that you just take notice to, especially on the songs Rebirth and Hollow Shell. But I will say on the opening song Rebirth here, they do sound a little wonky at first, but by the time it gets to the breakdown, they just dominate and sound very good in a very satisfying way. They were able to really find their groove and just sound very impactful. So here's a clip of Rebirth for you, so you get a sense of just how, like I said, impactful the drums can sound. Nice little use of the cymbals there and everything. Quite dynamic. And on Hollow Shell, the snare and kick drum really punch through nicely and clean, giving the riffs a nice rock solid backbone to really play off of one another. At times, the balance between the riffs and the drums could be better, but that rawness adds a lot of character to this EP than being an overall distraction. Riffs throughout this whole EP just don't hit, they move your soul and body. Unscathed brings some really bouncy, fast-paced riffing with a groove element that just keeps everything very engaging while also having pure aggression behind it. The same applies to the song Hollow Shell here, because the riffs, they're very tight here, which makes the breakdowns feel very earned when you get to them because they're playing so well with the riffs. Guitar solos like on the song Hollow Shell kind of get lost in the mix at times, but their presence, it adds a lot of depth to the band and gives them a bit of a noticeable range. Breakdowns are a central tool to Joust's sound, and they use them wisely. Runout features a pretty standard breakdown here, but they add a nice groovy two-step on the outro to really bring the pit energy full circle. Unscathed has a nice strong drum-led build-up with the breakdown that just feels very massive without feel like it's overreaching or trying too hard to be tough. And I noticed that there was a guest feature on the last song here, and I gotta say it wasn't much of a highlight, but at the same time, it didn't really derail the overall presence of the final song. So the guest feature did an all right job, I guess. So I gotta say, from the slow, tingly buildup of Rebirth to the polished and just very heavy-hitting, unscathed song, there's a noticeable progression with this band. And it's not just in sound, but in confidence. This EP feels like a band that is really getting serious about who they are as a band. Their earlier material definitely showed potential, but this EP, Born Into This World, sounds like a mission statement in terms of being aggressive, polished, and full of hunger. Joust's latest EP, Born Into This World, is a step forward in all the right directions. The vocals are sharper, the production is cleaner, the band's ability to blend different styles like thrash, metallic hardcore, and groove is even more refined here. It's not just a hard EP, it's a very smart and well calculated EP. And I gotta say, this EP proves that, they're not just another heavy band from Texas. They're doing something different here to be smart and calculating and just elevate the heavy music genre. So I definitely say this is a band to watch out for the future because what they're making here, can really go somewhere. So I would say this latest EP from Joust is a good and solid 8 out of 10. Links down below. Tell me what you think. And like always, I will see you in the pit.
Can't take it, good, good.